Match number 5. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso teaming up against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paulie H in the corner. Tag team match, no strap on the line. Excited about this, or is this a Fanta Orange and pretzel break?
This is there's a story here, but I feel like they're trying to revisit the bloodline again and talk about beating something with a dead horse. I feel like this is a no-win situation. That's what I feel like with this match. You have Roman Reigns, who is still over, but they've got nothing for him. Without Paul Heyman, without the bloodline, his current character does not work. And he's a part-timer, and he's going to be retiring in a few years. They've got nothing for him. It's hard to write a good storyline for him right now with all these other stars who are here full-time and him only being able to make sporadic appearances. So I feel like they don't want to bury Roman. They don't want him to lose necessarily, but at the same time, having him come in and beat Seth Rollins' boys, who are supposed to be super dominant motherfuckers, partnered with Paul Heyman, the most brilliant mind in WWE, and so you either have Roman lose and it feels like you're burying him, or you have them lose and they lose any momentum that they have, especially because Seth is injured. I don't see a good situation here. That being said, is really, really, really difficult for me to bet against Jey Uso, who is still exceedingly over, and Roman Reigns. I know there's going to be shenanigans. I know that there's going to be things happening. But in all fairness, they don't have the numbers game like the MFTs, or is that what they're calling themselves now? The Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa's bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't have the numbers game like that. And they don't have Seth Rollins. Especially if they're planning on keeping that, if he is faking this injury, if being the operative word there, they can't have him come out and reveal that before he cashes in.
Right.
So there's no numbers game here. There's no advantage. There's no advantage for them. So I have to go with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Great insights, Des. I mean, you kind of laid out the flow chart for this match, like if and then, and I'm like, you might as well flip a coin here. But Booch, go ahead on your take on this one, man.
It's interesting, and Des made a lot of valid points, and the one that I'll address, because it calls back to something Wins you said something earlier about, was he said beating a dead horse with the bloodline. That is probably one of the truest statements I've heard. And you were mentioning about Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and catching lightning in a bottle. Well, if I learned anything from the clips I've seen on YouTube about the Unreal documentary on Netflix, apparently catching lightning in a bottle only applies to the bloodline, because they won't catch lightning in a bottle with anybody else. Don't believe me? Ask LA Knight. Just want to get that off my chest because I saw a clip that made me shiver, but I ain't got time to talk about it. But anyway, I'm looking at this match, and here's the thing. It was like Des said before, Roman Reigns is a part-timer. And I think the reason they have nothing for him, and I'll say it again, Seth getting injured, I think is a big part of it. Because if Seth wasn't going to face CM Punk, he was going to face Roman Reigns. Because, again, that's the match that should have happened at WrestleMania, was him and Seth one-on-one. That should have happened. Because they still have the unfinished business, and that was from, again, WrestleMania 40. Where Roman had the chance to take out Cody with the chair, but he didn't. Instead, what did he do? Put the chair to Seth's back to get the receipts for that Shield turn, and then Cody took advantage, hit the 3 crossroads, and finished the story. So Paul Heyman said that. He went home and licked his wounds and took his eye off the ball. So now Roman that they're basically telling you this Seth thing's not over. And it's not going to be over till Roman gets a W over Seth, which he hasn't yet. So that needs to happen. So that could have been the story here. But instead, they're putting him with Jey Uso, which, some people are liking it, some people aren't, whatever. But then there's the other catalyst to this story. Paul Heyman, who we've all said, master on the mic, great mind for the business. But one other thing about Paul Heyman that people sometimes forget to mention, and if you worked for ECW, you know this to be true. Paul Heyman is the master of manipulation. He was able to convince people who got bounce checks to come back almost every month and keep wrestling. If you can do that, you have a gift of gab. If you can do that. Like, most people would rip your head off if you bounced a check on them in wrestling. I've seen guys literally get pinned against the wall or literally kidnapped, thrown in a car, driven to an ATM. Oh, you put your goddamn PIN number in, give me my fucking money. I've heard stories of this shit happening. I know guys in the business who've dragged promoters to an ATM machine, literally slammed their head against the wall and said, you get my fucking money or you die. Paul Heyman was literally bouncing checks and they still came back to beat each other with weapons. If that ain't manipulator, I don't know what is. And what has Paul been doing? Reminding Jey Uso, your family turned your back on you. What has Roman Reigns done for you? You were supposed to be the right-hand man, but he didn't pick you, did he? He picked Solo. And what happened? So,
Are you suggesting that Jey Uso is going to turn on Roman Reigns?
that's exactly what I'm saying. If they,
Jeez, Booch, you took the 50-mile road to walk across the street here. Go ahead.
I think he's planting the seeds, and I think one of two things is going to happen. Either if Jey doesn't turn heel, then Roman goes for a spear, hits Jey by accident. Something's going to happen where there's going to be some shenanigans. So Jey might turn heel, maybe. Maybe they might see where that goes. Maybe Jey, because Jey's been a heel before, but only with the bloodline, never by himself. So that's a possibility. Or Roman goes for a spear or something. He hits Jey. Bronson Reed hits that tsunami. 1, 2, 3. Jey gets frustrated. And maybe that. So either he'll turn on him in the match or maybe after the match, Jey snaps and beats the shit out of Roman Reigns. Because again, Roman's a part-timer, needs a reason to sit at home. What better reason at home than Jey beating the fuck out of him in the ring? So I see that could happen. And maybe it might be an experiment that they play with. Because I don't see Jey going back for a title anytime soon.
Oh, God, no.
Especially if Punk wins. He got his 51 days and they struck while the iron was hot. And yeah, that
I still feel like he should be champion coming into SummerSlam and then losing into SummerSlam. That's what I said when he won it. That's
no, I hear you. And I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying what happened. So I don't disagree with that. But I'm saying maybe that's something they might try. Because otherwise, because he's not, I don't see him going back for the world title anytime soon. And the fans are only going to yeet so much before they get tired of it anyway. So
I don't know. They still say what?
Yeah, but they do it to troll people, not because they love the guy in the ring. When they're saying what, they're being dicks.
Yeah.
They still
Get wrestling and able to work around it.
They still yes.
Not often. Not often.
I mean, we just have to accept that. We just accept there will be times when certain things will always stick because Daniel Bryan or Stone Cold Steve Austin said these things. Like, these are just things that will forever be, woo! You'll hear that with the chops.
Yeah.
And why? Ric Flair. Like, these are just things that will be forever just because they're forever.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it'll fizzle out, but then everything makes a comeback. Like, that's the thing. Eventually, the nostalgia will make you want to do it. But in the heat of the moment, eventually it's going to fizzle out, but then it makes a comeback. I'm not saying it's never going to come back. I'm just saying fans will get tired of it. And then when it becomes cool again, they'll circle back to it. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking either Jay's going to turn heel or it's going to be an accidental thing. That's the vibe I'm getting. And I think it'll be something shocking. It'll make people want to tune in on Monday, most definitely. So I'm going to go with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker because I feel like they need the win. And I think Paul's planting the seeds for Jey to get fed up. Or
I could not
latest thoughts.
I could not agree with you more. Like, this makes the most sense to really turn Jey Uso. I think it's time for a turn. Why not? You've already sealed his audience. They follow him now. He has a following. Whether he's a face or a heel, the t-shirts will still sell because you can still have an evil yeet. It doesn't always have to be, good yeet. It could be bad yeet too. That's one of the things I think he can transcend that line, right? Because he has been on both sides of the aisle. He's been part of the family and also kind of kicked out, thrown in a well like Joseph, right? He can do these things. I think he can overcome. And I think that Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed need this win. Bronson need a win. That's what my head was saying. Bronson need a win, and so does Bron Breakker. Why not? You have to really, to make this faction look dominating, like they can protect Seth Rollins, they have to handle their own business. And this is a great step in that direction. So I, too, am going to go with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. We got to speed it up here, guys. The studio charges by the hour. I got to get out of here soon.